problem, no problem.
Just climb it, right?
I'm just gonna climb right up.
All right.
Okay, stand back, because it takes a real man to do this. You ready, bro?
Oh,
man.
Oh, dude! All right, that's it. I'm calling Dennis.
No, don't you understand? This pool is our bootstraps, and it's lifting us up into the middle class, dude.
Well, just accept the fact that you're white trash, all right? Take a look at yourself. You can't do backflips. You don't know karate. You're white trash.
You're white trash too, dude. Look at those shorts are white trash.
Do not call the shorts white trash. Dennis told me about these shorts, and they're not white trash. Look at this. Look at this. Look what I can do. What is white trash about that? Don't call me white trash.
I feel like if I had that kind of mobility, I'd be capable of almost, well, pretty much anything.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe then you could get the flip. Although I doubt it. I really doubt it. Can we just call Dennis?
Fine, call Dennis.
Yeah. Oh, shit, dude. I put the phone in my front pocket.
God damn it.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a comedy show that has been running for, as of the making of this video, about 18 years on both FX and FXX. It centers around a group of friends that own a bar. They are Dennis, played by Glenn Howerton, a vain and arrogant misogynist; his sister Dee, played by Caitlin Olsen, a failed actress; their father Frank, played by Danny DeVito, an old and rich man who prefers to live in poverty; with Charlie, who's played by Charlie Day, an illiterate who is often made fun of for his lack of intelligence; and Mac, played by Rob McElhenney, a self-professed alpha male who is confused about his own sexuality throughout the show. The group refers to themselves as the Gang, and they are often embroiled in a wide range of get-rich-quick schemes that are to the detriment of those around them. The show and the characters are vehicles for the creators to satirically criticize political or social happenings in the world, but mainly the United States. They do not shy away from political topics that are often considered heavy and difficult to talk about in a comedy. In just the first season of the show, there are episodes called "The Gang Gets Racist" and "Charlie Wants an Abortion." Oftentimes, they are successful in their criticism by taking the arguments from both sides of the political spectrum to their extremes, which hyperbolizes them and breaks them down. While they address a wide range of political and social issues, the main issue that is at least in the background of almost every episode is that of socio-economic class. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia surpasses its predecessors by bringing attention to the struggles of the lower class and white trash far more than almost any show before. The characters all live in different stages of poverty and see themselves as parts of different socioeconomic classes. Their personal socioeconomic identities are most prevalent and at the forefront in the Season 6 episode, Mac and Charlie, White Trash. This episode takes place during one of the hottest days of the summer, and each character tries to beat the heat in similar, yet different ways. Each character comes to the same conclusion, that a trip to the pool is the best way to cool down. Charlie and Mac at first go to the country club pool, but are denied entry because the pool is, quote, at capacity. As the two storm off, Mac tells Charlie that they were denied because they are perceived as lower class. While they both agree that they are lower class, they are angry that they are being boxed out because of it. They briefly think about going to the public pool, but decide not to because they believe that the people there are grosser and part of an even lower class. Instead, they decide to go to an abandoned and empty pool and refurbish it for themselves. However, they need money to make it happen. They go to Frank with quite a bit of it. He quickly declines their offer, though, saying that it is too much work. Dennis and Dee then begin to make fun of Mac and Charlie for getting turned away from the country club. They say that because they are high class, they will be able to waltz right into the pool. Mac is angry because he and Dennis are roommates. When he points this out, Dennis says that, quote, "You're born into class. It's about pedigree. It's about upbringing. It has nothing to do with your present circumstances," end quote. Dee then adds on, quote, "No, see, Dennis and I were born upper class, and therefore we currently are and will forever remain upper class," end quote. Dee then asks her father Frank to back her up, and he says that he does not care about class anymore. This interaction is a great window into how the characters feel about their class. Mac and Charlie are lower class and they accept that. They're just angry that they are being discriminated against because of it. Dennis and Dee, meanwhile, despite living in similar circumstances, perceive themselves as upper class because of their upbringing. Frank, meanwhile, despite having the most money, lives in squalor with Charlie, and does not care about his or anybody else's class. And because of this, it's the happiest of the main characters during this episode. Dennis and Dee then go to the country club, where they are also denied entry because the club is, quote, at capacity. They are shocked. After throwing a fit, they take the employee's suggestion of going to the public pool because they have class, and, quote, having class means being able to mix with people that are beneath you, end quote. They go to the public pool but are disgusted, and then they run into Frank, who is fitting right in. After a while, Dee cuts her feet on broken glass and has her shoes stolen, and they want to leave. Dee suggests going to Mac and Charlie's pool, but Dennis does not want to, as that would mean admitting that they did not get into the classy pool. Meanwhile, Mac and Charlie, thanks to their own incompetence, got stuck in their abandoned pool. Dee calls them to see how it is going, and Charlie suggests that they tell her that they are stuck. Mac does not want to tell her, though, because getting stuck in an abandoned pool is extremely low class, and they do not want to admit that they are low class. Mac and Charlie then order a pizza, thinking that the delivery man might be able to help them out, but he leaves because he thinks it is a prank. The two then get into an argument because they cannot escape, where they both call each other white trash. After shouting at each other for a little bit, Mac finally relents and says that they can admit to Dennis and Dee that they are stuck. However, Charlie dropped his phone in a puddle and it has been destroyed. Dennis and Dee then try their hand at the country club again, this time waylaying club members and trying to convince them to be sponsors for their entry. During their pitch, Frank interrupts as he has been kicked out of the public pool. An employee for the country club approaches and once again says that they're at capacity. Dennis refuses to be kept out and makes a run at the pool. Before he can make it, he is tackled by security. The three of them then go to Mac and Charlie's pool, where they are still stuck. Dennis and Dee call Mac and Charlie trashy for being stuck at the bottom of an empty pool filled with trash, but Mac and Charlie figure out that Dennis and Dee never got into the country club pool and call them trashy. Frank stops their bickering and brings them all together by getting Charlie and Mac out of the empty pool and by busting open a fire hydrant in order to cool off. At the end of the episode, all of the characters show their true colors. They are all from the same class, and their petty arguments do not matter. They are all white trash. Throughout the episode, the characters use the term white trash multiple times. The authors Annalee Newitz and Matthew Ray, in their article, What is White Trash? Stereotypes and Economic Conditions of Poor Whites in the U.S., define white trash as a label put on economically poor white people, usually by members of the white upper class. The authors also say that the term white trash is, quote, used to blame the poor both for their poverty and for social problems, which can be found at all levels of the economic ladder, end quote. Many things that occur in almost all social classes are assigned to those defined as white trash as a stereotype. For example, poor rural whites are often assumed to be exceedingly racist, even though anybody anywhere can be a racist. It is because of these stereotypes that many believe that the poor should be cast out of mainstream society, much like a nicer pool that is at capacity. These stereotypes of the poor have existed for all of the United States' history. Dr. Nancy Eisenberg, a history professor at LSU, charts the history of white trash in the U.S. in her book White Trash, The 400-Year Untold History of Class in America. Some of the first colonists that settled in what would become the 13 colonies were the undesirables. The Pilgrims fled Britain searching for religious freedom. Many of those that would become farmers had to pay their way across the Atlantic Ocean. They usually sold themselves into servitude to the rich for a period of time. After they gained their freedom, they were still poor and looked down on. When the United States was created, the only people that could vote were men that owned land. This discrimination has continued to today throughout all of American history. Whenever there have been attempts to enfranchise more people, they have been met with resistance. Attempts to help the poor and the lower class are also often met with backlash. On page 312, Eisenberg states, quote, angry citizens lash out. They perceive government bending over backward to help the poor, and they accuse bureaucrats of wasteful spending that steals from hardworking men and women, end quote. This thinking persists to this day as the poor, white trash included, are often put down and discriminated against for things that are often outside of their control. Portrayals of the lower class in the media and popular culture have also not done any favors to how the poor are viewed either. In his article, Unpopular Culture, The Case of White Trash, John Hartigan brings up the novel and subsequent movie Gone with the Wind as one of the earliest examples of this. The lower-class white family is portrayed as evil and dirty, and the upper-class white family does all they can to avoid becoming like them. According to Hartigan, another way the lower class has been misportrayed has been how white trash became a fashion style during the 1990s. Thanks to multiple articles in fashion magazines, it became hip and chic for a rich person to dress like the lower class, almost as more of a mockery than anything else. Newitz and Ray also bring up in their article more examples of these stereotypes. Movies like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Pink Flamingos also portrayed lower-class whites as dirty or downright evil. This trend is beginning to change, however. Media portrayals of the lower class and of white trash have begun to become more accurate and more sympathetic, they often fail to show the root cause of why the people they portray are poor. Heather E. Bullock, Karen Fraser White, and Wendy R. Williams published their article, Media Images of the Poor, in the Journal of Social Issues in 2001. They researched how the media portrayed poor people in the United States by looking at over 400 newspaper articles about wealth and poverty published over a 3-month period. Overall, they found that the portrayals of poor people, while sympathetic to their situation, failed to show or explain the reasons why they were there in the first place. That is a facet that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia does not fail at. The audience learns through both the characters' backstories and through their own self-destructive actions why they are poor. Usually, it is at least partially the fault of the system. Whenever their characters can or do reach out for help, the system often spits in their face and sends them back to where they came from. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia makes up for past mistakes of the media and the portrayal of the poor by showing and explaining the origins of why the people are in poverty. One of the reasons why It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has been so popular for so long and has been so effective in its criticism of socioeconomic class in the US is because of the show's origins. The pilot episode was made for $85. Even after the network picked up the show, the budget was still so low that the creators chose to use royalty-free music throughout the show instead of paying licensing fees or paying to have something new written. All of the actors a part of the main cast were friends, and 3 of them were and still are writers for the show. It was because of its cheaper feel that the show did not appear to talk down to its audience. Instead, the audience is able to feel like it was right there in the trenches alongside the characters, not viewing them from some ivory tower built by expensive production value. Today, the show has a much larger budget, but it still has not lost its small-time feel. The show's ratings also show that it has maintained, if not even grown in popularity across its run. According to Matt Newtile's article, The Gang Beats the Odds, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia's consistent popularity, the show's IMDb ratings have consistently held firm season after season, while other sitcoms like Modern Family and The Simpsons have had their IMDb ratings gradually decline as more seasons come out. The show has also been able to keep its material fresh with every new season. Unlike other sitcoms that sometimes fall into the trap of unintentionally reusing similar plotlines or material, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia avoids doing so, continually creating new content. Because the show has maintained its popularity over the years, it has been able to effectively promote its message to a larger crowd for quite some time now. Mac and Charlie White Trash serves as one of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia's most on-the-nose criticisms of socioeconomic class in America, but it is far from the only episode that does so. In fact, almost every episode has some form of criticism of class in the US. Early in Season 2, we learn about Charlie and eventually Frank's living situation. Charlie lives in a one-room apartment without a bathroom and a pull-out couch as his bed and can hardly afford to pay rent for that. Frank eventually moves in with Charlie and begins paying his rent, but the two still share the pull-out couch. While this situation may be hyperbolized slightly, it still brings attention to the living situation of many people, especially those in the cities. All of the characters also continually plan and partake in a multitude of get-rich-quick schemes, ranging from trying to go door to door selling gasoline during a gas shortage, to calling a water stain on their wall that is vaguely shaped like the Virgin Mary a miracle and selling access to it. They do not care who they climb over or who they hurt in order to make money, but usually their schemes fail. These schemes are hyperbolized criticisms of class in America. Continually, the lower class fight with each other and prevent each other from advancing, much like the characters in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The get-rich-quick schemes are also a criticism of things like the lottery. Instead of finding a sustainable stream of income, people buy lottery tickets in hopes to get rich quickly. According to a CBS News article from 2018 by Kate Gibson, of the Americans that make less than $30,000 a year, 28% of them play the lottery at least once a week. Those that can least afford it are the ones that are constantly wasting their money on it. The schemes in the show are only hyperbolized versions of that. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a sitcom that has stood the test of time. Throughout its 18-year run, it has used satire and hyperbole to criticize a wide range of political issues. The major political issue that is at the core of the show and in every episode, though, is socioeconomic class in the U.S. Discrimination against the lower class and white trash has existed in America for centuries. Portrayals of the lower class in the media and popular culture have not done those people any favors. While their portrayal is beginning to change, the roots of their problems are still not shown enough. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, while maintaining its popularity far better than many other long-running sitcoms, shows the roots of the problems and brings attention to one of America's most heinous problems, socioeconomic class and the discrimination of those people.
What the hell are you doing down there?
Nothing, we're just hanging
No,
out.
we got stuck in this pool.
Shut up. We're having a good time. No, we're good. We're just chilling.
This is pathetic. The word trashy just doesn't even do it justice.
Whatever. What are you guys even doing here? Why don't you go back to your fancy pool? We're fine.
Fancy pool got old after a while.
Wait a second. You guys didn't get into the pool, did you?
What?
Oh my God, you sons of bitches! You didn't get in! Admit that you were low class just like us!
I'm not admitting shit because I did get into that pool. I just got tired of swimming in it.
All right, then why are you here?
Why are you piping in trash? You shut your mouth, trash.
No,
We
why are
get
you calling me trash?
Because
I defended you earlier because they're shorts.
you're the ones that are trash, sitting in the bottom of a pool that's filled with trash, like trash.
You guys are white trash! You admit it right now!
I hope you trash bags die in the bottom of this pool like Jamie Nelson did.
Don't bring Jamie Nelson into this.
All right, forget about it. Stop it. Just stop it. I think I have a way for us to beat the heat tonight, Philly style.
Yeah.